On this episode, we talk to Parth Bhakta of NurseFly. Atlas All Access starts now. Parth, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
What are you doing here in Omaha?
Yeah, I came to see you.
No, you didn't just come here for me, but...
Yeah, I'm also here for the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting and meeting with some of the staffing agencies that are on the NurseFly platform to see what we can do better.
Awesome. I'm so glad you took the time to stop here. That's super cool.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love this place.
So, out of San Francisco originally, yes?
That's right.
And that's where NurseFly is located?
That's where we're based. We've got a small but powerful team of 3 people in San Francisco.
I think I was going to I actually had that question written down, and we'll totally get into that. I think there's that perception out there that NurseFly is much bigger, right? And it's because your website is one, it's easy to use. 2, you've got a ton of jobs out there.
Right.
But there's really there's 3 of you.
Yeah, we're a small team.
That is super cool.
Yep.
I like that a lot. Okay, so I've got one hard-hitting question for you.
For sure.
And then I want to get into kind of where you came from and all that, right?
Totally.
And the reason I'm going to ask this is because a lot of nurses were introduced to you guys maybe for the first time through a text message that came at TravCon last year, right? And it maybe wasn't the most well-received. Talk through that.
Yeah, that's totally on me, and I want to apologize, first and foremost to any of the nurses listening that, received that text. We're a new company. We make mistakes. We're trying to get the word out there about our product, and we hired a marketing agency to kind of promote us, and the strategy was wrong. It doesn't make sense for us to send text messages to folks, randomly about something they never heard of, and that's on us, and that's never going to happen again.
And I was there when it happened or whatever, and I thought, oh boy, and I couldn't wait to talk to you about it. Like that was when I heard you were coming to town. I'm like, this might suck, right? I mean, it probably was a scar for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But out of that, I think came a lot of super positive stuff.
For sure.
And you have been building ever since. So let's talk about that. Like, where'd you start? Why'd you start? How did you see that need first?
So really, the genesis of NurseFly came from a good friend who used to be a recruiter for travel nurses. He would tell me about his job, just cold calling nurses all day. And we thought, hey, maybe there's something better that we could do here. Maybe there's something that we could do that gives more power to the nurse and more information to the nurse to make, their job search more transparent and easier. So we really started as kind of a hobby. We thought, hey, maybe there's something interesting that we could do here. Can we build a really simple website that folks might want to sign up for that provides some value? So we started kind of a really simple service at nursefly.com where you could sign up for a profile and list exactly what you're looking for, and then have recruiters reach out on your terms about specific job opportunities that meet your profile. So we launched that about a year and a half ago. And even after the first few hundred nurses who signed up, we'd been receiving really great feedback, both from nurses and from recruiters, about kind of the ease of use. And since then, we've just been innovating nonstop and continually trying to build features that really benefit nurses first and foremost, to kind of increase transparency in the industry and give nurses the power and the information to make decisions about where they'd like to travel.
One thing I've noticed, at least over the past 9 months-ish or so, is just the progress of the website, right? The website has, not that it wasn't simple in the beginning, right? I'm not saying that at all, but the things that you've added to the website, the search functions and just the different capabilities that you have when you're looking for a different job has grown exponentially. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and we're just at the beginning. We really want to, increase the value of this platform to provide, tremendous resource and value to nurses everywhere. And so, we work hard day and night with our small team to try and continually build features to make it easier to use and also provide more information to nurses. And along those lines, some of the things that are in the pipeline are, more detailed reviews about facilities, so nurses can come online and see, hey, what's it like to work at this place? More information about cities, housing listings, just anything we can do to make that process easier, because it's challenging. It's challenging to pick up and go somewhere where you don't know what it's like, you don't know what to expect, and oftentimes, working with agencies can be a complicated process, and oftentimes nurses don't have access to all of the information up front. So what we're really trying to do is create that ease of use and really just create transparency in the entire industry.
So a lot of nurses who I've talked to have said it's all just about pay, and it's not. That's not what the website's about, right? That's not what you guys are about.
Yeah, exactly. I think we like to surface, where are interesting locations you can work. We also really focus on ease of use. How can I keep all my documents in one place and send it with one click to the person that needs it? And also, how can I protect my information and make sure that, I'm not getting contacted nonstop by a ton of recruiters? How can I talk to the people that I want to talk to on my terms? And also do the best research in terms of, where would I like to work? And pay is a factor, of course. Our goal, if successful, is to make sure that nurses get paid more. We want to create competition amongst agencies. And that's some of the conversation that we've had today is, hey, how can we pay nurses more? How can we, figure out ways to be more competitive and create more transparency around that? So if we're successful, I think, we'll see pay continue to rise in the industry, which is great for nurses, and it should be.
Right. How do you feel about the just kind of surface here within the past year or so, that recruiter list model? Like, where do you think that is going in relation to maybe just the industry in general?
Yeah, totally. I think, there's always going to be a group of travelers that have really great relationships with their recruiters and rely on their recruiters for that personal relationship because they have trust with that recruiter. And they really have a great relationship that they depend on. And I think there's another segment of travelers that really want kind of just simple ease of use, and they know what they want. They know what pay they want. They want to be submitted to that job, and they know that they're qualified to that job. So I think there's a place for both. I think especially the younger generation travelers, sometimes don't necessarily want to be sold to. They kind of want to be able to take that job search into their own hands. And we see it in every industry. There's increased transparency, there's increased ease of use, there's more power to the consumer. So we think something similar is also happening in travel nursing. And there's room for that. There's room for a place where a nurse who knows what they want can kind of very easily and quickly get access to that job opportunity.
So control their own destiny to a certain extent without having to rely on somebody else. Maybe make it somewhat transactional, but then at the same time have the power of like a website like NurseFly behind them that has a lot of that information there.
Totally. Yeah, and what we're really trying to do is reduce friction, right? Oftentimes trying to coordinate with people and get all this information together and get time on the phone, it can be challenging. Nurses are busy. They're working a ton. They don't have time to spend, on the phone, always just, chatting and building a relationship. If the nurse knows what they want and we can make it very easy for them to get access to that, and as a result pay the nurse more, I think that's compelling.
So you kind of touched on it already, but what's your long-term goal for NurseFly?
Yeah, our long-term goal is essentially to create more transparency in the industry and give more power to the nurse. We want to create tools and services that aid candidates in their job search across all of healthcare staffing. And so, if a nurse comes to NurseFly to start their job search, we want to give them the best possible experience to make that process as easy as possible, both in terms of kind of amount of time you have to spend and also how much money you can make.
So what's next then? What do you see coming next for NurseFly?
Yeah, I think right on our roadmap, just in the next 2 weeks, we're launching a site called therapyfly.com, which is geared towards physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists. So we're really excited about that. And we're excited to partner with Atlas on that as well. And beyond that, we're looking to really add more tools for nurses. So whether that's kind of reviews about facilities and make that more front and center on our platform, whether that's more community features where you can see, hey, here's a nurse who's been to this facility. Here's what they think about it. Here's what I should know, if I'm going to be a traveler at this facility. We're also looking to build more tools and kind of visualizations for nurses in terms of, figuring out what their salary should be and how, what areas might be most competitive right now. How much should I be making? If this is my specialty, this is how many years experience I have, this is my license. And beyond that, we're looking to really ease the submission process. So we've made some initial steps there, but we've still got a lot more work to do to create a standardized application where the nurse can keep all of their documents on one place, and all of the agencies on the platform can use those documents to actually submit the nurse. We all know that time to submission is a huge factor in this market,
right?
And speed is of the utmost importance. So if we can make that process one click where the candidate can submit their information to the recruiter and really make that process easier to get in front of that hospital and that facility, that's one of our big goals.
So give me your, if you have a wish list, we all have a wish list, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me one of the things on your wish list. In the next year, you hope to get this.
Yeah, I think, one of the big things on our wish list that we hear all the time is a big pain point for nurses is around the credentialing and compliance piece of it. We hear that's just a huge, oftentimes a hassle. And if we can enable nurses to kind of own their own compliance and own their credentialing and make it easier for them to kind of deal with that after they've accepted a contract, we're looking into different ways to partner with folks to make that process way easier.
Interesting. That was not the way I thought you would go, but that's.
What did you think?
I really thought you would go more with just the growth right?
Yeah.
Just with get as many users on there as absolutely possible, because you have a lot of jobs.
Yeah,
there are
for sure.
a lot of jobs on there, and
there are a lot of users too. There's about 15,000 nurses on the platform today, which we think is compelling, and it's kind of a virtuous cycle. The more nurses we get, the more agencies that want to work with us, that bring more jobs,
right?
And the more jobs we get, the more value we can provide to nurses. Because ultimately, to make it most convenient for the nurse, it's a place where you can go and see every job on the market. So you can really make a decision as to where you'd like to travel and have full visibility into what's out there. So you can be sure that you're kind of in the right place and in the right role.
Get the ball rolling downhill as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we're always focused on how can we provide more value to the nurse. And, we love feedback. So anyone listening, who wants to email me, parth@nursefly.com. Always happy to chat about how we can continue to add value and build products that are truly useful for nurses.
So last question then, what is the number one piece of feedback that you've gotten from a nurse so far?
Yeah, we need to do a better job of building communication tools on our platform. We need to make that process way easier. We do a lot of our text messaging and communication on our app through SMS, and that can be challenging for nurses. So we need to do a better job of giving nurses tools to be able to configure this, turn this off, be able to know, hey, when this text is coming, this is from NurseFly versus this is from outside of the platform, and really kind of push development on our mobile app. So our mobile app can be that one place where you go to communicate. So we're not actually, having to text nurses to notify them when they have job opportunities. So really better communication tools is a real priority for us.
Okay, so then this will be my last question, actually.
Sure.
You've got, how do people get in touch with you? Website, email address, whatever.
Yeah, totally. So, welcome to email me at any time, parth@nursefly.com, Parth @nursefly.com. On our site, we also have a live chat that we're pretty responsive to every day. So you can just hit that chat button and, we're up night and day talking to folks and trying to make this work. So we love feedback, and we love, anything we can do to make a nurse's life easier, we will try to do on our platform.
I love that you came here to Omaha. This was a lot of fun. So
yeah, thanks for having me, Rich.
I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy while you're here.
I've already enjoyed it, and it's great to have Atlas as a partner. And we always hear great ideas from you all. So thank you for that.
We haven't been shy about sharing ideas. So
totally.
That's just us in general. So
Absolutely.
There you go. Thanks again. Enjoy Omaha.
For sure.
And
Thanks,
next time you come through town, we'll have you back again. So
sounds perfect.
All right.
Take care. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.